This is Comic Geek Speak, episode 126. Welcome to Comic Geek Speak. I'm Brian Niemer.
I'm Matt.
I'm Jamie D.
I want to buy a copy of Bone Storm. Here's 99 cents.
Allow me to summarize the proposed transaction. You wish to purchase Bone Storm for 99 cents. Net profit to me, negative $59. Oh, please take my $59. I don't want it. It's yours. Seeing as we are unfamiliar with sarcasm, I shall close the register at this point.
And welcome to the show. This episode of Comic Geek Speak is sponsored by the Pittsburgh Comic-Con, April 21st through 23rd at the Convention Center in Pittsburgh. It's the Pittsburgh Expo Mart in Monroeville, PA. The hours in the show are Friday 10 to 7, Saturday 10 to 6, and Sunday 10 to 5. $17 per day or $45 for a 3-day pass. Children under 8 are free with paid adult admission. It's going to be a heck of a show. You got Brian Michael Bendis, you got George Perez, you got Howard Chaykin, Tim Truman, Mike Avon Oming, Mark Wade. A whole mess of people are going to be there. Ray Park, Darth Maul. And we're going to be there. We have a booth. And we're also going to be hosting the comic trivia panel. That's Saturday at noon. So be sure to join us for that. If you want to participate in the trivia challenge with a chance to win lots of prizes, you have to sign up at our booth before the thing starts. So
it's going to be extremely limited.
That's right. Only 16 people can participate. And so be sure to come on out. It's only like 2 weeks away now. So it's going to be a good show. Good show.
Starting to get the old comic show buzz.
I know. I'm starting to feel it already. You know, we had so much fun in New York. I'm ready for the next one.
Yep.
Good times.
Next stop on the CGS World Tour.
That's right. Get your CGS T-shirts. Only $15.
$20 if I sell them to you.
And a reminder,
$20 if we run out of fives.
That's right. Yeah. Be prepared. Please bring change.
So please bring 10s and 5s.
Or ones, because they help us out with what we do later.
That's right.
Jesus.
It all goes right back into the show. That's show research.
That's right. We need something to discuss.
I lost my train of thought. A reminder that this month's Book of the Month Club selection is The Life and Death of Captain Marvel, which you can get from InStockTrades.com for 40% off if you want to participate with us and read it and talk about it. Yeah, any other news or anything? I don't think so.
No, we're not running any contests for April, so there's nothing else.
No, I think we're good.
I'll talk about a contest. I was going through the latest issue of FHM magazine, which I buy for all the articles, and it's the one with Erica Durance on the cover. So all you Smallville people, it's May 2006, and there's a contest in here called Fight the X-Men, which I thought was kind of cool. It says, fight the X-Men and score a custom comic page showing Wolverine beating you bloody. And it says here, ever wonder what you'd look like getting cold cocked by a superhero? Former New Mutants penciler Carlo Barberi can show you. So one FHM reader will win a custom one-page comic in which he will be shown getting manhandled by Wolverine. It says to enter it, you have to take a picture of yourself dressed up as a supervillain, either one that already exists, or even better, one that you've created. Then you send that along with your name, self-addressed stamped envelope, and phone number to Wolverine Punched Me, FHM 110 5th Avenue, New York, New York, 10011, or you can submit it digitally. And the winner will get inserted, face, costume, and all, into a comic that looks pretty similar to the one they have here. And that comic will be printed in FHM. The winner will receive the original artwork. And also, then there's a thing. Don't forget to check out the new movie X-Men 3: The Last Stand, which appears May 26th. So I don't know. I thought it was kind of a cool contest. Get printed and Carlos Barbieri isn't a bad artist. He's pretty cool. And I was looking closely at it, and actually, Chris Sotomayor did the coloring for this, a friend of the show, and Chris Eliopoulos did the lettering for it. So it all has kind of an interesting connection to us, friends of the show. So
maybe I should send in a picture of myself as Captain Cold.
Captain Cold, sure, do it.
The only thing that turns me off is that they have the Ultimate Wolverine. I'd want the... I can't accept the Ultimate verse. To me, just like the All-Star. It
looked to me more like it was the movie Wolverine.
The movie?
I mean, has like the black jacket and all that kind of black jacketed Wolverine. So I wasn't too upset with it. I agree with you though about the using Ultimate as opposed to using the classic, but
because it seems merchandising in general, they're doing the Ultimate lines.
Yeah,
and that kind of, I don't know.
I guess they're trying to push that a little bit more than I guess the regular stuff. Which like I said, I kind of agree with you. I'd like to see them push the original, but I'm not that upset with it. So just if you're interested, pick up a copy of FHM, which you should anyway, because like I said, Erica Durance is on the cover, and go for it.
Good article on her too.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of contests, Peter has a note for me. One of our listeners, Derek Coward, who also has his own comic podcast called Comic Book Noise, which you can find at comicbooknoise.com. He's running a contest, and somehow that contest includes us.
Uh-oh.
So you have to listen to his episode number 36 for details. So be sure to head over to comicbooknoise.com and listen to episode 36, as well as all of his other podcasts, and get the scoop on the contest that somehow ties in to CGS.
Uh-oh.
It's all very mysterious.
Is he paying us royalties? That's all I want to know.
No,
if he's not, then
we're getting something else.
Sue his ass. Because we're a litigious bunch.
Hey, so we were just talking about Pittsburgh, and to tie it into the whole comic convention thing, I'm going to get Uncle Sal, on the phone for Comic Convention Story Time, New York and Emerald City, and then he's got survival tips for San Diego as well. So let's get Sal on the phone.
Which is necessary, I'm telling you. As far as San Diego goes. But, so are you looking forward to San Diego, Matt?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I never was on that side of the States, so...
Ooh, first-time trip.
First-time trip out there, and I love to fly, so I'm looking forward to that as well, being on a trip that long.
How far west have you gone before this?
I would have to say the furthest west would be Erie, Pennsylvania.
Whoa. So, yeah, this is a long trip for you.
Just a wee bit.
Sal?
Yep.
All right, welcome to the show.
Thanks, man. You guys already going?
Yep. Yeah, we're pumping into the middle of it.
Oh, thanks. You just kind of throwing me in? Is that kind of deal?
That's it.
Yeah, this is like a second thought. We're just...
Oh, okay.
No, we love you.
Yeah, I know, but you just, you're throwing me in at the last minute. I get it.
Well, you always hurt the ones you love. That's the whole thing.
Yeah, okay. I'll take what I can get. You know what I mean?
You're here. It's Brian, Matt, and Jamie.
Oh, okay, cool.
So,
I met everybody, right?
What's that?
Yeah, you met all.
You guys got like a posse, man. I can't keep track anymore. You guys are like the V for Vendetta guy with the dominoes. There's just so damn many of them.
You just keep popping up.
Yeah, the same when I do the last couple shows I did. You guys got it's like the Kiss Army, You got like all these dudes coming up to me, and I'm like, they know my name, and I'm thinking, man, did I borrow money from any of these guys, or what's going on?
So,
got a big following, man.
Well, we're trying. And as long as they all buy Atomica, everything's good.
Yeah, I try to warn them. It's not for everybody, but for the most part, they're very cool. They're very, supportive, and, sometimes they just want me to Guido it up on them, but for the most part, they buy Atomica. They're very cool.
So, how did New York turn out for you?
New York was good. New York, you guys saw it was crazy, man.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, it was a little bit over the top. I think they got a lot. I talked to the guy about next year, and he said that they wanted 30,000 for the whole weekend, and he said they had 20,000 just on Saturday. So, but if it's anything like New York, they'll screw it up.
Oh, wow.
Hey,
no, I mean, successful as that show is, if it gets too successful, it's something about New York, man. People try to get their hands on it and try to, fix it and screw with it, and, you got the Teamsters out there, so you got to watch out.
Sal, I just opened the box that you sent us, and I just distributed the cool Atomika T-shirts you sent us.
The cash is on the bottom.
Oh, okay. I gotta reach down a little deeper. Then.
Yeah, I put it in like the meat wrapping paper, so nobody customs opens it.
Cool. We thank you very much.
Yeah,
those shirts are cool.
I've been promising I was going to send you those guys, those things a while back, and I just never got, and Peter sent me a list, and it was like 400 shirts you needed. So
that was for his family.
It was like Woodstock when he sent me the list. I was like, Jesus Christ, I think it was 6 or something like that. But I have no delusions. It's an Alex Ross T-shirt, or nobody would care.
Hey, and you got it. I mean, it's from graffiti and everything. So you went all out.
Well, Bob at Graffiti, again, I have no delusions. As soon as he saw it was an Alex image, he's like, yeah, maybe we'll do it. But, he never read the book, I'm sure, so.
Well, it's a nice shirt, though, that's for sure.
Yeah, you got to watch out for Bob. He's a big guy, so, he's got those big Ben Grimm hands, got to be careful.
So, did you have any interesting stories from New York, or I guess you just did Emerald City?
I did Emerald. Emerald's kind of, how can I put this? Emerald's a nice show, and the guys that run it are cool, but it's like, man, there's just too many hobos in Seattle, man. I'm telling you. There's no more homeless, but there's homeless, and then there's just hobos. Whatever happened to hobos? Like Boxcar Willie, using a rope as a belt and, cooking beans by the boxcar. That's Seattle, man.
Riding the rails.
You got a lot of druggies walking around. It's like a George Romero movie in Seattle. They're just wandering around, and they're not poor. They're just asking for beer money.
They're waiting for Nirvana to come back.
They're
right?
asking for I thought it was like Sasquatch. I thought Steve Austin was going to be chasing Bigfoot around, and it was just a lot of guys asking for beer money.
How much did you get?
You've been to Seattle, right?
No, I've never been there.
No.
Okay, then it's like you got that whole Jeremiah Johnson, we're a woodsman, we don't want to be part of society gang that just kind of hangs around downtown. And they're well-dressed guys. They're well-dressed hobos that just want beer money.
No Starbucks money?
Yeah, I don't know. But again, nice con, great people, a little slow. In terms of not their education, just slow in terms of the traffic, and not as many people as I would have hoped. But I think it's got potential to be a good show in the future. I would do it again, but Sunday was really, really slow. It was like dead.
Was it just a 2-day show?
It was just a 2-day show. Yeah, I went to the Sonics game and got food poisoning, and
Oh, that's fun.
Yes, I was shitting razor blades for the rest of the day. It was nice. I'm sorry. I'll be serious.
That's fine.
You ever gotten food poisoning?
Yes.
No, I haven't.
I had it like really. I don't know what I had. I had it really bad, and I think I had to sit on the toilet naked because if I put my pants up, I would stand a chance of crapping my pants. It was not good.
I don't know. I made it through living 2 months in Mexico, and I just got back from 10 days in El Salvador, and I had no problems.
Well, you're like, Rambo, intestines or something. I don't know what I ate there. One of them Starbucks sausages or something. And I was sick as a dog. My ass was like a faucet. It was bad. It was not good. When you're shitting sideways, pretty bad. It was like, when you get those explosions, it was like one of those Galactus Kirby pieces in the toilet. It was not a good thing.
Oh my God, Sal! This is why everyone loves you.
Well, I got to be careful because I got a couple hate mails from guys that are like, yeah, why aren't you more serious? And that's why Atomika is not selling. And I'm like, I don't know, man. What do you want me to do? Go on 60 Minutes? I'm sorry. I thought we're just a bunch of guys, talking comics.
Yeah, I think you'll sell more comics with this approach than...
No, you know food poisoning, right? You're Mr. Yeah, you were in El Salvador, so you know what I'm talking about.
I think I've just been lucky. I just never got it. I'm sure my day will come.
Yeah.
Were you puking too?
It was coming out of both ends.
Oh.
Yeah. It was. Like I said, I was shitting tacks. It was bad.
Did you get the shit sweats too?
Oh, no, like I said, I had it so bad that it would come involuntarily, so I had to just stay naked, because if I put my clothes on, I'd crap my pants. I didn't have enough time to remove the clothes to go. You needed to leave them off, or it was, not going to happen. I was going to put rubber bands at the end of my pants legs just in case something slipped out.
Oh, Jesus. All right, I think we can move on now.
All right. Hey, you keep asking, I'll keep telling you.
Oh my God.
I think it's such a sweet, town and good show. I think that if more people would support it, like publishers and big name people, that I think it's a great place to have a con. Is Seattle? A lot of cons, they tell you, hey, it's in a city, but yet it's way out in the burbs. This one's right in the heart of Seattle, so I think it could potentially be something good.
Cool, because I guess, the next next closest big con is probably WonderCon in San Francisco, right?
Yeah, right. There's one that I'm thinking of doing. It's a buddy of mine's throwing it, called SuperCon in Oakland. It's coming up in May, but that's just they're taking over the venue where WonderCon used to be, yeah. So there's nothing closer than that. And the Pacific Northwest, there's no con up there at all. So
Was Bendis there?
No, not that I know of.
Doesn't he live in...
The only guy I know was Eric Larson. And, and I talked to him about Atomica, but he's not biting. Because I had to fire another production guy because they keep screwing up Atomica, and, the production guy I had would fuck up a 2-car funeral, so I had to fire him. I talked to Eric Larson about Atomica, and he just looked at me like I wanted to borrow money. It was not good. He's a scary guy with that whole Etch-a-Sketch drawing style. Have you ever seen that? It's funky.
Yeah.
That's that Leonardo da Vinci draw backwards and look in the mirror kind of thing going on.
Right. Yeah, he holds his pencil very awkwardly, and
yeah, he's a big man. He's like Peter Boyle in Young Frankenstein.
Right.
Dude. I approached him with a Atomica, and I was like, "Wow, this is a big guy."
Yeah.
He's one of Xavier's dudes. He's a big guy, man.
It is funny, kind of watching him walk around a convention. It's like you see him, and then like the rest of the crowd, it's like he's 10
I
feet
always
above.
lie to people and go, "Hey, there goes Alex Ross," because they look alike.
A little bit, yeah.
Guys are both big men, So I go, "Hey, ain't that Alex Ross?" And they run after him and bother him, and he gets really aggravated when people ask him if he's Alex Ross.
Well, now you know why he's passing on Atomica.
Well, he was really nice about it. He sent me a 2-page letter, and the first letter was everything that he loved about it, and then there's a but, and then the second letter was what I needed to fix if I was going to come over to Image, and I'm like, well, where does Atomica live and where does he eat, and we don't know enough about him. And I'm like, I don't know, man. It's not a Brady Bunch kind of book, so I got to kind of leave it alone, He wanted me to make wholesale changes, and he's a publisher, and he's got to do that, and I'm sure he knows more about it than I do, but I just wasn't ready to do that kind of stuff. He's looking for, I think he wanted to be, he says, I need an editor, and I'm like, man, meet the new boss, same as the old boss. I got to stay away from that stuff.
Yeah. So any interesting things happen other than the food poisoning?
Food poisoning?
Either con?
No, I was looking for Sasquatch. Bigfoot I thought lived in Seattle, so I was looking for him. And I went to the Sonics game, and they had a guy dressed as Sasquatch, but he looked like my old man without his shirt on. So, it wasn't much of a scare to me. But it was more of a Chewbacca kind of Sasquatch than a real Sasquatch. And, I went out to dinner with some guys that I hadn't seen in a while. You know how that goes, where they show you pictures of their kids, and you're like, great. And I told them what a phenomenal success I am, and they didn't believe me, and that was about it. I'm home for a while. I've been doing too many cons. I'm gonna stay home for a while, and I'm gonna do probably the one in Oakland, and then the next one is Philly.
Oh, cool. So we'll see you there.
Yeah. Well, plus, like I was saying before, I think there's a lot of people that are calling and getting crazy about San Diego, and there's a lot of stuff people should kind of be, like your permits. I think people should be sure to, if you're going to sell stuff at San Diego, you got your permits in by now,
Yeah, that's right, because there's all kinds of, you have to have
Oh, man, the California guys, you got to pay taxes on all that stuff. So a lot of people show up to San Diego, and if you don't have a permit, they won't even give you your badge. They won't even let you in.
Right.
If you're selling stuff. If you're just going to the show to hang out, it's cool. But now, what about you guys, man? Enough about me. Let's talk about you.
What do you want to know?
I don't know, man. You got how many guys? Now, how many guys am I talking to now?
There are three of us here.
Okay.
And there are 3 guys who are absent.
Did you already are you guys starting to get rid of people? Is that how it goes?
No.
So not making the cut, or what's happening?
No, it's kind of attendance is voluntary, so whoever can make it in any one given night is who shows up.
Right.
So Peter's in New York dancing, and Kevin's MIA, and Shane's kid is sick. So
do you hold it against people when they don't show up? Or?
Yeah. Well, I keep track.
Yeah. No gold star for today.
That's right.
And there are beatings involved, or no?
We can't divulge that information.
That's right.
All right, I'm sorry.
It does involve the basement.
All right.
We will neither confirm nor deny that there are beatings.
I'm just saying.
Phone books do not leave any marks. That's all I'll say.
You got just use it. Fill a case with doorknobs. That always works. Just hit them where they don't. It doesn't show.
Is this life on the street talking now?
No, not at all, man. I'm a independent comic guy. What do I know about that stuff?
You're an independent contractor.
Yeah. I'm still trying to pull together, the trade and number 7, but it's just lately it's been all bad news, man. It's just been the self-publishing thing is just killing me.
So the trade still hasn't come out yet?
Well, the trade here's the problem. The trade should all be done. It is all done. All the files are done, but I had some problems getting all my files from Speakeasy and pulling all that stuff together. And the last 2 production guys I had just, really didn't, they weren't doing what they were supposed to do. And Quebecor called me and the printers called me and said, hey man, there's something wrong with this. And the French Canadians when they try to do something, and it wasn't right. So now I got to go back and hire a new production guy. So.
Well, that sucks.
It's bad, yeah. I mean, and nobody really wants to hear your excuses when you're a small publisher. They just go, "Hey, man, where's the book?"
Well, a lot of people got held up with the whole Speakeasy thing.
Well, I'd like to blame it all on them. I'll blame part of it because they were not real forward with giving me my files for the first couple issues, and they were a little bit. I saw them in New York, and they didn't talk to me. They were a little sneaky about what happened, but then again, I was already gone, so they didn't have to tell me anything. But I kind of sensed something was going on by their demeanor. But it's too bad. I hate to see any small press guys go under. They're nice guys over there. I'm just too bad it had to happen. I felt bad because I brought Frank Espinosa over, the Raquetto guy, and I recommended them, and then 48 hours after he came over, the whole thing blew up, and I looked like like I brought him over for nothing.
That
Sold him
sucks.
a ticket to the Titanic, man. Yeah. Frank's a nice guy. He's a little too foreign for me, but he's nice. He's one of those hardcore Cubans that doesn't speak, really. You think of Cubans like Ricky Ricardo, but Frank's a really nice guy, but I don't understand anything he says. And since Cuba was in the Baseball World Series, there's just no dealing with him. Like the Puerto Ricans when West Side Story came out. You really couldn't deal with them after that.
Yeah.
They believed all that sharks and jet stuff. So. Angel Medina still mentions West Side Story, and I tell him, hey, man, that was from the 50s. Slow down with that, will you?
Hey, man, that was a musical, all right?
Well, it did a lot for the Puerto Ricans, West Side Story.
Oh, no, I know. I'm just saying, that's what you tell them. dude, it was a musical, all right? They were dancing
well,
ballet.
You know, Angel draws Spider-Man, so I can't say anything to him.
True.
You know, Marvel gives away more copies of Spider-Man than I sell of Atomica, so what do I know?
Have you ever gone to the Pittsburgh Con?
I went 4 years ago, and again, nice family show, but just small, man. You know, not a lot of people. And, you know, Michael Turner's there, and they treat him like, you know, like he's Ben Roethlisberger, and you know, Adam Hughes, you know, they treat really well. But I don't know, it's not in Pittsburgh. It's way out of Pittsburgh.
Well, it's not. I mean, it's not way out. It's just in Monroeville.
Well, you know, if I can't hit it with a rock, it's too far. I wanted to go. You know, cons like that. You know, people are like, oh, it's small. Yeah, but when you're a small publisher, you know, they really don't find you. If you're a big guy and you're in Pittsburgh, they love you, you know. But I love Pittsburgh. I wanted to go in just to go to a Pirates game, but I'm thinking I'm just going to stay home for a while and get some work done.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Yeah, but Philly's a good con. You know, good food, man. They got good food in that town.
Yeah, what do you like?
Well, the obvious stuff, the cheesesteaks, but they got some good Italian restaurants there.
Yes, they sure do.
They got a couple really good Italian restaurants that are just, you know, when I get out of there, you know, none of my clothes fit when I leave Philly.
Yeah.
And
there's some killer Chinese food that's only blocks from the convention center because it's right in Chinatown there. And oh, baby.
Yeah. Yeah, I do I got to admit, I'm a big sports guy, so I do the Mitchell and Ness pilgrimage for the throwback jersey store that they have in downtown Philly. And, you know, pick up my, you know, Dave Kingman Cubs jersey, you know, that kind of thing.
Well, you got to be doing something right if you're picking that stuff up. Jesus.
Yeah, no, well, the problem is you go in there and those things are like, you know, they're like $3,000 for a baseball jersey. It kills me, the prices on these damn things, because I'm not a rap star, so they, you know.
Why are they so expensive?
Oh, my God, I mean, I'm not exaggerating. They're like $350 for a baseball jersey, you know, and you're like, oh, okay. You know, Stallone wears it. Good for him.
Yeah.
$3.5 billion. I can buy the bootleg ones on eBay for like $50 from Korea.
Is that where you got that? Did you get that Hasek jersey from there?
No, you know that's a Tretiak jersey, the Russian one you're talking about, right? I had a guy write me a letter and call me comrade, and he sent it to me. I guess he assumed I was Russian, and I escaped, you know, during the Cold War. But no, they sent that to me. Somebody was being, you know. They're always horrified when they find out it's a guinea from Chicago that does Atomica. They think it's, you know, this Russian guy who's in the basement somewhere, you know, drawing next to a coal furnace or something.
Because that was really cool. I looked at that, I was like, wow, that's a really neat sweater.
Nice. I mean, I actually have had people, you know, get mad at me for having that jersey. New York, I had like this Chicago, what is it, public radio. They have a lot of those public radio stations, and he got all mad. He came up to me and he saw the Soviet thing and he started yelling at me. You know, how dare you have that? And
what the heck?
And I'm like, hey man, it's New York. Leave me alone.
Isn't the Cold War over?
Well, you know, I did. You know, I was just kind of like, hey man, what do you want me to tell you? You know, you wanna argue about this? It's a comic book. You know, leave me alone. And guys, there's like 40-year-old porn stars 2 feet away from me that got pictures of like, you know, them with farm animals, and you're not saying anything to them. So.
Well, and it's not like you're wearing a swastika. I mean, it's a big
difference.
That's
what I'm saying. Yeah, if I was wearing something that was really, you know, pissing people off, then I, you know, like if I was set up with Liefeld, I could understand. But
oh, that was a cheap shot.
This guy got on me about the whole politics of the Soviet Union, and I'm like, come on, man, take it easy. You know, it's over.
I was going to say, our side won. Just let it
you know, it's like, you know, vodka, it's good.
Drink some more.
Stop it, yeah. Well, what about you guys? Were like walking around like 60 Minutes. It was unbelievable. You guys were everywhere.
Well, that's the whole divide and conquer thing, you know. There were so many of us that we were able to. Seemed like we were everywhere at once.
You guys were everywhere. It didn't seem like you were everywhere. You were everywhere.
Well, we tried.
You guys had groupies. You had entourages. You had a posse. It was ugly.
It was fun for us.
I'm waiting for the groupies. I haven't gotten that yet.
You got the whole Comic Geek Speak jewelry thing going on with the big, you know, CGS thing around your neck, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, mine has all diamonds in it. You know.
That's right. The grill work on your teeth.
That's right. Yeah.
You know? But how's the response to the show Ben, because I've been getting guys from, New York City to Seattle to San Francisco that are all like, avid listeners of the show,
Yeah, I mean, we, honest to God, we have people, pretty much everywhere where there's an enclave of English-speaking people. We have many listeners. I mean, it's only like 3,000, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it seems like we have more from the responses that we get. I think we just have a high percentage of the people who listen are very responsive to what we're talking about. So I think that's why it seems like we have more listeners than we do.
I don't know, man. I was surprised. I mean, when I started Atomika, I did a lot of grassroots advertising, from Newsarama to websites to whatever I could to kind of tap into more of an independent market. Because I obviously it wasn't a Marvel DC kind of project, but none of the stuff that I did had brought as much of a direct response as being on your show last time. I mean, I had more guys coming up to me, mentioning that damn Liefeld story than, I mean, I was thinking, man, I didn't realize that many people, cared about, Liefeld getting beat up, But,
that's big news. Come on.
I guess. And I saw him at Seattle, but he didn't say anything to me, so I guess he didn't figure I was, big enough to talk to or something.
Word probably got back to him, and
maybe, I don't know. I mean,
That's funny. I'm excited that you're going to be in Philly. Are you doing?
I did Philly last. Well, I've done Philly the last couple of years, but I did Philly Artist Alley last time. I don't think I'll do Artist Alley this time. I think I'll just get a small booth. But Wizards a little mad at me because I didn't do L.A. But I did New York, and I didn't want to do both. So I figured, you know what, I'll just try New York because it's a new show, and I know L.A., and I used to live in L.A., and it's like the rectum of the world. I'm sorry for anybody who lives in L.A., but the country's like a human being. New York is the brains, and Chicago's the heart, and L.A.'s the rectum. and I lived out there, and they had great Mexican food, but I hated it. So any chance not to go to the L.A. show, I said I'm not going to go.
Yeah. So now I understand you have some survival tips for San Diego Con. Is that correct?
Well, guys, I talk to a lot of guys, and I say you got to go because it's Mecca, and it's become so, you get so much out of it now because it's so big and there's so much cool stuff to see and there's so many movie stars that show up and, so much in terms of if you're not working a booth, you can go to those panels and it's amazing who shows up every year. Which big directors and which big movie stars. But for the most part, now is not in June. Now is the time when you really got to start laying it out, the lay of the land. And if you don't have your hotel rooms by now, you're in a lot of trouble.
Oh yeah, they were when on the day that they released the discounted hotel rooms, they released them at I think it was noon our time here in Eastern. They were gone by 12:15. Yeah,
I had guys, my phone was ringing off the hook that morning, and, I had thought, man, what did I do? Did I miss parole or what happened? And it was just calling like crazy. And it were guys that got on at 7. It went on live 7 a.m. here in Chicago. And guys were like, and a bunch of guys that I knew, big guys that go every year, said within 40 minutes, the 3 big hotels that they wanted were completely booked. But you see, don't let that discourage you because people tend to overbook. So if you really want to get in the Hyatt, the Marriott, the Omni, the Hilton, or one of the ones that's within walking distance, you got to just stay on it because there's a lot of cancellations between now and July. And again, pre-registration is it's a godsend because the line gets to be insane. I mean, it's a 2 to 3 hour line to get in on Friday, and on Thursday. If you don't have tickets bought in advance. Preview night used to be a joke, but preview night now is probably the best night of the show.
It definitely is.
Oh, because it's where all the primo stuff is still gettable.
Mm-hmm.
You show up on Saturday, and a lot of the best stuff is gone. A lot of people have sold out of all their good stuff.
Yeah,
and just try to stay close to the con, man. Stay away from those guys on the bicycles because otherwise you got to stay by the Waffle House by the airport, and that gets expensive because you got to shuttle in every morning and shuttle back.
Yeah.
And I tell guys, just hook up with some friends and split a room and crash on the floor or do whatever, and you save a lot of money, and you can buy your Boba Fett dolls and stuff.
Last year it was all about those lightsabers that you could bang around and they made noise and stuff. Man, everybody had those.
Yeah. I knew we hit it. I knew we had gone. It got as weird as it could possibly get when I was going up the escalator, and I saw that they had a special area underneath the escalator it was called the Klingon handicapped area. I swear to God, it was for guys in wheelchairs that were dressed like Klingons. It was the handicapped Klingon staging area, they called it.
Oh boy!
And I'm like, man, we got that many Klingons, huh? And we slid into the handicapped area, and sure enough, there were guys dressed as Klingons in wheelchairs.
I missed that one.
More power to them.
I'm like, hey, God bless them. They're going to show up. But I thought, wow, I never thought, we had that many guys as Klingons first to where we needed to, have an area just for the handicapped ones. But it's gotten that big. I mean, it's gotten like, and I try to warn people, guys, pace yourself, don't lose your mind. I mean, it's that big of a show. Don't blow your wad the first day and take it easy.
Yeah, and definitely if you really want to get to some panels, especially like the bigger ones, like the Kevin Smith.
Mm-hmm.
I know last year they had a Serenity panel that I was thinking about going to. I thought, I'll go down, and oh my God, the line was just insane.
Oh, so. I know guys that I had a guy that was staying with a friend of mine, and he got up at 4:00 in the morning to go to the Angelina Jolie thing.
Oh.
And then he stood in the wrong line.
Oh.
Yeah, and then when she came out, they don't sign autographs really. They just kind of pimp their movie and they're gone.
Mm-hmm.
They're there for like all of a half an hour or 40 minutes. And I was just like, I'm a man. And every year, most of these big shots that show up, it's unannounced. So, if you get a chance, duck into the panels upstairs, walk into the gas lamp, have dinner, go to a Padres game. That's usually what we do. There's so much cool stuff to do that.
And that's all within walking distance of the convention center.
Petco, yeah, it's right across the street.
Yeah.
It's it's take an extra day, go to the zoo because the San Diego Zoo is unbelievable. It's the biggest zoo in the world, and
take a night, get some crack whores in Tijuana.
The San Diego on the weekends is unbelievable. I mean that little gas lamp area on Friday and Saturday night it's like it's like the fall of Saigon. I mean it's just so crowded that you can't believe how many people are walking around.
Yeah, we ate down there. I think it was Thursday night. We ate down the Gaslight.
Yeah, that Thai place.
That Thai place, which was really good.
That was pretty good.
Good Italian food down there. They got a couple really good steak joints and good Italian restaurants right there in the walking distance in the gas lamp. And there's a couple good. I want to say there's a couple good pizza places and a couple cigar stores right there. And it's just like a perfect spot for a con.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it's like the Super Bowl. I love it. People have been complaining it's too crowded, but I love it.
Yeah. Do you have a booth there last year?
Yeah, I set up. I work for Alex Ross actually on the side. I sell his original art and stuff. So I have a big Alex Ross, aircraft carrier that we put in the middle of the con.
Yeah, I remember that, the big lightning bolt flash.
Yeah,
type
with
thing.
the Joker banner, and if I had to eat off Atomika, I'd be dead by now, or a lot thinner. One of these days, So I rep a couple guys, and I'm an art dealer on this side. So I usually set up for Alex, and we do a whole big, Alex Ross. You didn't think he did Atomika cover just because he liked me, did you?
Right.
That's not possible.
So do you?
We actually figured it was the naked pictures or something like that.
No, well, my naked pictures ain't going to get you very far. You might get like a cover from Chap Yap or one of those I've never heard of anymore. Actually, Chap Yap. That's funny because I'm like one of the few guys that reference Chap Yap.
He was one of those Liefeld ripoff guys.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, well, I remember
him and Dan
in the
Fraga.
of Image, you'd walk by the booth and they would have all these. These Asian dudes that sitting there, and they all thought they were rock stars. They thought it was like the MTV days of comics. And I walk by and I look at the nameplate, and it's a guy named Chap Yap. And I thought, man, I guess you need to have one of those Hollywood names to get into comics now. So, I tried Chap Yap. He wasn't available, and I asked Alex.
So aside from any Atomika-related artwork, do you own, in your personal collection, any original Alex Ross pieces?
Yeah. Well, I'm actually, and this is going to get me in trouble, I'm actually Captain Marvel. He used me as the model for Captain Marvel.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in Kingdom Come and in Power of Hope and all that. I was his photo reference guy. He uses a lot of photograph. He takes photographs, we knew each other from way back, like from advertising. And so, I knew him from when he was pitching Marvels, and then when Marvels exploded, he became like, Alex Ross with capital letters, and I was still cutting limes at the bar. So, he always these guys, and he goes, "Hey man, you look like Captain Marvel," and he's like, "What do you think of Captain Marvel?" And I go, "Well, it's the gayest costume I've ever seen." Little did I think I was ever going to have to wear that damn thing.
Now those are pictures I want to see.
Yeah, well, it's a good. It's a good thing. I'm not complaining, but you get some, those Fletcher collectors that come up and got a little bit of a man crush on Captain Marvel too much. That gets scary once in a while. I want you to say Shazam and all that stuff. So I started doing that, and to answer your question, though, he gave me a couple of Kingdom Come pages as a thank you for doing that, and going to cons over the years, I bought some stuff. I bought a lot of stuff.
That's cool. I really like his penciled stuff. Like we only ever see all his painted stuff, and I really like those pencil stuff that you see from time to time. It's good stuff.
Well, I told him about you guys, and I was trying to get him to come on the show, but he's like, you probably told him bad things about me, and I'm like, no, I didn't really, So he's afraid he's going to get on the show, and you guys are going to ambush him about all the terrible things I said about him.
You haven't told us anything about it.
I haven't told. Okay, good, because I need my job still. It works out better that way.
Yeah, you haven't divulged any information.
Yeah, no, he's a great guy. He's the consummate professional. I tell guys, I go, you want to know what you need to do and the work ethic you need to be in comics and be at the top, you got to watch him. He just works like a dog. He doesn't ever rest on his laurels. He's a workaholic. I mean, he doesn't like to do cons because it takes time off of his schedule. He hates to do cons because he says, then I lose a week of work.
So is he's not going to go to San Diego?
No, he's like, hey, look, he's got a point. He's like, there's two reasons you go to San Diego: to get work or to promote stuff. And he doesn't need the work. And Justice is already, doing the numbers are already in, so he doesn't really feel he needs to promote it anymore, other than just getting the book out on time. So he's not going to go, which is okay for me because it's more work when he goes. I gotta,
You gotta keep the crowds away.
I gotta I gotta play like Mr. Belvedere. I gotta walk around and make sure that the fans,
Sal, go get me this.
When they carry him in on a barge, I gotta be the guy that oils down the black guys with the chains on and they carry him in, and I don't want to do that.
Do you remove all the pimentos from his olives?
It's like the Ten Commandments when he comes in the con. I don't want to have to do that.
Oh my God. I just have this image of you now looping up a eunuch.
Well, I use baby oil. I just squirt them with the baby oil, and they carry him in on a barge, and it's like the theme from the Flying Monkeys in Wizard of Oz, when he comes in, because he's like Mr. Alex Ross now, and I like it. I'm here to work, man. I ain't here to babysit,
I actually got a chance to meet him at Philly, in one of those, the assembly line. You go up, you get an autograph, and he was actually really nice. I will say that, especially after two guys in front of me. There was no limit on what they were allowing him to do. They brought up like 100 prints. Right. I swear to God, and he just kept taking them to him, and you could see the smile on his face, kind of, It was creeping in that he was kind of getting annoyed, but he was still there, signing and nice as could be.
Yeah, he's a sweetheart of a guy, and he's, somewhere along the lines, comics, we kind of got that idea that it was okay to be late and not, meet deadlines and all that stuff. And he comes from an advertising background where if you didn't meet your deadline, you were fired. So. That's why he's always on me. He's like, it's all about drawing, man. It's all about meeting your deadline. It's all about getting your book out. The promoting stuff is great, but, we've got such a bad rep in comics of being late with everything that, You know, that should be the most important thing, is getting everything out.
That's cool.
That's good advice.
Yeah, no, it's worked out. I mean, it's a little daunting, you know, sometimes when I go to his place and I see what he's working on, and I'm like, oh my God, I want to, you know, the stuff is so over the top, ambitious with everything he does. You know, it gets to be a little discouraging, but for the most part, it's you know, you see what he's doing and you realize, hey man, if this is what you really want to do for a living, most people don't realize how much work is involved. There's a lot of work into it, you know, a lot of practice and a lot of sleepless nights and pissing coffee, you know, all the time. It's tough. And
food poisoning.
Yeah. And shitting sideways.
Well, thanks.
But I'll see. I'm gonna try my darndest to get him on, because he's a great interview. Just don't ask him what his favorite character is.
Yeah, I read an article somewhere about like the questions you're not supposed to ask Alex Ross.
Yeah, yeah. Well, he's answered them 1,000 times.
Exactly. It's no fun anymore.
You know, ask him something about who he hates, and you'll get a great show, because he'll badmouth. Like, he was at a con one year where he badmouthed George Lucas, and my God, the hate mail came in for years. And he didn't say anything bad about Lucas. He just said that, you know, he's got friends that worked for Lucas, and he just said that Lucas kind of took advantage of some of those artists. And, you know, that was his opinion. And, oh, man, did they line up, you know, and, like, say, who do you think you are? How dare you touch George Lucas? And, you know, he knocked, you know, Kevin Smith and Ben Affleck and all these other guys. And I go, well, just say Superman and move on. You know, don't talk about people.
Yeah.
So don't talk about Angel Medina and West Side Story. It's not cool.
Well, thanks so much for joining us, Sal. It was fun as always.
You probably turned the recorder off, what, about 20 minutes ago?
Yep.
No.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
With the food poisoning was the last thing that got in.
The shit sideways. That's where we.
Yeah,
ended it.
you know what I'm talking about. Bowl painting.
Oh no, I definitely know what you're talking about.
It looks like someone chewed up peanut M&Ms and spit them in the toilet. That kind of thing.
I can't wait till
Like shotgun, boom.
Right, yeah.
I can't wait till the next couple of conventions where you're at, where people can bring like butt plugs for you just in case.
You're going to need, the regular cork isn't going to work. You're going to need like one of those ones that you got to twist it and push it down, like those pressure valves on a submarine.
You know,
like a gas cap.
You're going to need, you're going to need a gas cap like on a foreign car that you're going to need.
They'll bring you wetsuits so you don't have to worry
those
about it.
radiator caps, you know, where you got to release the pressure before the cap comes off.
Oh, Christ. Oh, man. For the grossest episode ever.
But yeah, you know what? I forget why I came on. You know, the website, you know, if people want to love it or hate it, let me know what they thought of Atomica, because I handed out a lot of copies at Seattle, and I was curious what people thought, love it or hate it. So,
and what's your website again?
MercuryComics.com.
All right.
If you want to, berate me for anything I said that offended you on this show, too, you're more than welcome. I don't want you guys to get in trouble. You know?
Nah.
We can handle it.
You don't care?
We can handle it.
That's right.
Yeah, you know.
And any press is good press.
That's right.
Yeah, you know, I liked your new, you know, you redesigned your website since the last time I was on, too.
Oh, yeah.
You got that superhero guy. That's cool, man.
One of our listeners in Australia drew all those images for us.
That's good work, man. That guy is, I was about to ask you, who did the art on that? That's good. You know,
he goes by the name Loopy Dave.
Oh, okay.
And I think
sounds like a porn star.
I think it's just loopydave.com. So
okay.
And he's available for freelance work as he's made us
good stuff.
I
mean, you guys really gotta, you know, it's one of those things where it's not just your average looking site. You got a good looking site there.
Oh, thanks very much.
If you want to do the link, well, we already do the links thing, right? I mean, back and forth.
Yeah, we have. I think I'm almost positive we have you on there.
Yeah, but it's good. It's always good talking to you guys.
Yeah, same here.
So it's great talking to you.
We look forward to seeing you in Philly, and we encourage everyone to pick up an issue or two of Atomica.
Number 7 should be out in a couple of weeks, unless I have to fire somebody else. Got the Eric Powell cover on it.
Oh, very cool.
Very cool.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
All right, Sal.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
You too.
Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Take it easy.
Always a good time talking to Uncle Sal.
Uncle Sal. Potty time with Uncle Sal.
That's way over the Oh, wait till Peter hears that.
The worst part is, I mean, having met him now. I mean, on the phone. The phone, if we hadn't met him, I couldn't picture this. But now, having met him, I can just see him naked on the toilet. That's the worst.
I didn't meet him that well.
Yeah.
Well, suck more money out of me. I know that's what it is.
That's right. Actually, this one, I just randomly picked one, and it looks like a pretty typical Stump the Rios. So, this one's from, Brian Seals. Brian, he's on the forum.
Okay, yep.
Yeah. Question number 1, Marvel. This Vietnamese New Warriors villain is a martial arts master that's been all but forgotten except by Dwayne Taylor. What's his name?
Wow. The number of New Warriors issues that I've read, you could pretty much count on one hand. I have no idea. The Chopsaki.
The Bengal. Question number 2, DC. The Vanquisher, who first appeared in Blue Devil number 12, gained strength, speed, and agility for a short while after saying what name?
The Vanisher?
Vanquisher.
Vanquisher.
I bet Peter knows this one.
Probably does. Too bad I can't phone a friend.
50-50?
Where's my lifelines? What name? Vanquish.
I thought you would get this one. Errol Flynn.
Oh, okay. If you said it was a 40s movie star, I probably would have. But
I don't think I'd be mad enough, even if I gave me powers, to belt that just to get the power.
Errol Flynn!
I get my ass kicked, and all of a sudden I'm just going to yell, Errol Flynn.
All right, question number 3, Independent. Jeff Smith's Bone character, Grandma Ben, had a series about her past exploits start up in 2001. The title of the book was the character's first real name. What is it?
Rose.
That is correct.
Don't ask me the Jeff Smith ones. Saved my ass with that one.
Yeah, so it's just 50 cents.
All right.
Hey, I got to give a shout out to Lena Taylor. She sent me some stamps that she received. It's what now? I don't have them in front of me, and I can't remember. They're from an African nation, but they're not from Nigeria. But she said that they were for one of those Nigerian scams, where they want you, we're gonna give you, $100,000, but you have to send us 5,000 as a token of good faith or whatever, one of those things. And so she sent me those stamps, and they're very cool stamps. So.
To get it through customs, you have to send us...
That's exactly right, yeah.
That's to get money, you have to give us money first.
Yeah, exactly. So you want to do another Off the Rack?
Sure.
I just read the Drax, the Destroyer miniseries trade. That was by Keith Giffen and... I don't remember who the artist was. But... I was actually very glad I read it. I really enjoyed it. I wasn't sure if I was going to dig it, but I wanted to get it because of Annihilation and everything. Mm-hmm. And I plowed right through it. It was very entertaining. And while it didn't, because I read the Annihilation prologue, and while you probably didn't have to read that trade, it definitely helped me understand who this one character was and what the hell was going on with them, and in that preview prologue or whatever the hell they called it. So I really liked it. If you're a fan of the cosmic, I would say it's worth it.
Cool. Yeah, I wanted to get that one, and now that I know you have it, I'll just borrow it from you.
Yeah, it's really a quick read. I mean, I read it one sitting, just 4 issues. So
yeah, for what I understood, it was because they pretty much they changed the character around quite a bit. Yeah. From what he had been to what he is now.
I don't know what he was. I just know what I read, and it was...
He was pretty much... Last time I read him, he was pretty much just like a big, dumb, brain-dead...
Yeah, well, he starts out that way in this series, yeah.
So, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think of... Like I said last time we did one of these, I've been plowing through so much stuff. I'm just trying to think of...
Want me to shoot one out?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I just finished the issue number 1 to the new Blue Beetle series, and the hero bit of it was interesting. It's his secret identity life that I couldn't really give two shits about. That kind of slowed the book down for me. In fact, I have to admit I kind of skimmed through it because after the first couple pages of it, it's like I don't really care about this stuff. But it did kind of bring up some questions about the whole scarab aspect of any of the, because I guess Ted Kord wasn't the first Blue Beetle.
No.
Could the other ones access its powers and kind of get the armor type of thing that the new one has, or is there just something specifically special about this new kid that...
I think there's something more special about the new kid as far as the armor goes. I'm pretty sure they all supposedly touched into the power of the scarab. I'm not that familiar with and Peter and actually Murd would probably be better at this, but I'm not totally familiar about the archaeologist guy. I can't even think of his name now. That had the Blue Beetle power before Ted had it.
He's the one that died in Crisis, right?
Yeah, he died. Well, I think his character actually died in Crisis, but Ted had pretty much, I think, taken over. I'm not that again. I'm not sure. Not sure. Don't kill me because I'm not Peter. I'm sorry.
I kept reading through it and thinking of that shitty series that was in the 90s, I guess, Big Bad Beetleborgs, where it was kind of just, I don't know, it was crap, but I just kept thinking about that with the armor.
Yeah, that armor kind of rubs me the wrong way, too.
I like it. I think it looks cool.
Mighty Morphin Power Beetle.
No, I when you realize that those things sticking up over his shoulder is actually the beetle on the back, it makes it look cooler to me. Like, at first, when you see it from the front, it just looks like some kind of, like, Power Ranger thing. But when he turns around, you realize that that's the beetle, and it's not just wings for the sake, little pointy things for the sake of looking interesting. It's actually the beetle. Then it changed everything for me, and then I really liked it. So, I don't know. That's my thought process.
I just, I'm reading through the book and seeing the different angles of the armor. It must take forever to draw, because the fingertips are actually a light blue, because I guess the whole like glove is the dark blue, but the tips of each finger is a light blue. So it looks as though there's a lot of extra lines and extra different color schemes part of it that it must take forever to color in that character.
Yeah. What I'll do that I'm just again trying to think of all the ones I've read. The second issue of Joe Kubert's Sergeant Rock Prophecy. Finally got a chance to sit down and read that, and just it picks up where the first one left off. Good stuff. Probably the best Joe Kubert I've seen in years. Actually, much better than the stuff he did for the Azzarello, like this No Hiding Place or Harder Than a Rock. I can't remember what it was called, but just good stuff. Again, if you like the GI combat stuff, quite enjoyable, and story looks interesting. They've been thrown into the Easy Company's been thrown into the middle of the war between the Soviets and the Russian Soviets and the Germans. They have to deliver a package. They're told they have to deliver a package to a town. So they get thrown in the middle, and it winds up this package is a young man who is called the Prophet, and he's Jewish, and they have to, it's the whole part. It's almost a kind of a Saving Private Ryan type thing where they have to, save him, make sure he gets to where he has to go, and they have conflicts about why they're doing this. They're not sure why they're doing this, and it's just well written, well drawn, and well worth your time.
Now, this is going to be a stupid question, but I have a reason for why I'm asking it. This, I take it, is a World War II story?
Yes.
Okay, because if I remember correctly, it wasn't Sergeant Rock. I don't think it was still Sergeant, but in the Our World at War storyline?
Yeah, well,
okay.
That was the whole big thing, because for the longest time in the DC universe, they had thought Sergeant Rock died the last battle, the last day of the war, the last bullet of the war killed him. That was always the myth that he had died. And I thought it was really, really cool, and I'm not sure exactly if it was Jeff Loeb or or who did it, what writer did it, but when they had President Luthor come, he used, Sergeant Rock was now suddenly in his cabinet, and it's like, wait a second, everybody's like, well, wait a second, he's dead, and then you find as it goes on, and he basically went into then this Suicide Squad, you found out that he didn't die, but he basically became DC's Nick Fury, but farther underground than Nick Fury, and where Nick Fury became the public face of S.H.I.E.L.D., he was in a covert operation group, but it was more of a black ops, where they were totally off the radar, nobody knew about them, and that's where he had been since World War II. And so that's it was the same guy, but it was the stories now that they're doing, these are taking place in World War II.
Okay.
Freaking, I was at Golden Eagle today to pick up the Infinite Crisis number 6, and Bill was working.
Okay.
And I just bought IC number 6. That was it. Took it up to the counter.
Really? You didn't get that on Wednesday?
And no, I didn't get a chance to get over with my new job and everything. And Bill says, "Oh, just so you know, the OMAC special came out as well." I said, "Yeah, well, I'm getting that in the mail." He says, "Oh, and the new Sergeant Rock is a Crisis crossover too." Just like, because he's so deadpan, you have to know Bill for that to be really funny. But he doesn't, like, he's totally serious when he's saying it, and then you're like, "Oh, okay, that's funny." You realize that guy cracks me up.
Bill is quite an individual. We gotta get him in here sometime.
Oh, I know. I wish he'd come on. He's so funny. All right, we have some voicemails.
I remember my first comic geek week. It was back in summer of 2005. What would I do without comic geek speak? I might not survive. Making up a song on the fly for comic geek speak. Loving that podcast 3 times a week. Comic geek speak.
The reason I'm laughing at it, oh my lord, that was great. Bravo.
Yes. All right, next one.
Brian Beamer. It's Jeffrey Borchert, Iacon on the forum. And so I was just going through my outbox on Private Messenger on the forum. And last episode you're saying, I didn't get a message from anybody with their addresses for the winners of the Versus contest. And I sent you my friggin' address on February the 8th. So, there you go. Whatever. Hope the show's going great, and I will be listening. Yeah. Bye.
Thanks for researching that.
Right, yeah. And Peter has all the address, and he's sending the prizes out. Next one.
Hey, Comic Geek Speak. It's Kevin from the Scout.net podcast. I'm sure by now you've heard about our challenge. I haven't heard from you guys. Jamie, this goes out to you. I propose that we arm wrestle at San Diego Comic-Con this year as a fundraiser for the Comic Book Legal Defense Fund. I'll put $100 on the line if I lose. I'll donate $100 if you arm wrestle me and I lose. Now, I choose Jamie because I love him the most. He's my favorite character there on Comic Geek Speak. And this comes out of nothing but respect for the Comic Geek Speak podcast. There's so much respect that we started around the Scout.net. But, hey, a little rivalry between podcasts is okay. So, what do you think? Maybe we can take it to the next level. Let's get as many people behind this as we can. Get some people to donate some artwork. I want to make this a contest. Make this a big thing. And it'll be an event for us at San Diego Comic-Con. Jamie, are you ready for the challenge? All right. It's Kevin from the Scout.net. I love you guys. Bye.
Now, don't forget, Jamie, to do the Stallone over-the-top movie where you take your hat and you turn it around to the back when you're getting ready to fight.
Are they going to tie your wrist together like they do, in the
pros?
Like...
I'll do the mud wrestling scene from Stripes. I'll go in as John Candy, and if you can get me some hot women, maybe we'll do that. But I don't know. We'll see.
We should just break it out like an Anchorman with the with the rival podcast.
That's what we ought to do.
Can we chop heads off and stuff or whatever?
Remember, first rule: nobody touches a hair, and that's all the rules.
I'll bring the trident.
I think I killed a guy. Yeah, bricks wanted.
Okay. Clearly, this is going nowhere. I don't know. I don't have anything else.
I think I'm fresh out of new ideas.
Yeah.
I can do a couple rants, but nothing comic book related.
Oh, well then that's... And Tasha's
the dogs.
Home. Yeah. Okay, well, this episode of Comic Geek Speak was sponsored by the Pittsburgh Comic-Con, April 21st, 22nd, 23rd at the Pittsburgh Expo Mart in Monroeville, PA. Lots of people going to be there. We're going to be there. Check out their website at pittsburghcomiccon.com. And it's $17 per day or $45 for a 3-day pass. So we hope to see you there. Big thanks to Sal, Uncle Sal, for coming on the phone and giving us some great stories, as always. He never ceases to be entertaining.
Nope, great guy, and definitely support his book. You are not going to be disappointed, I promise.
And if you want to send us an email, it's comicgeekspeak@gmail.com, and that's where you can send your Stump the Rio submissions. 3 questions, 1 Marvel, 1 DC, 1 Independent. And our website is comicgeekspeak.com to witness the beautiful artwork of the very talented Loopy Dave. To leave us a voicemail, it's 206-888-4805. And thanks to the guys at upallnightgaming.com for hosting the website. And a reminder that it's April. Oh, no, it's not. No, what the hell? Yes, it is April.
Yes, it's April.
The year is going so fast. It's April, and we really, really would like your votes on Podcast Alley. We were shooting for 500 votes this month. We're at 200 and some, and we're at 7th place on Podcast Alley, and we need to maintain that status. So please go to comicgeekspeak.com/vote and do your thing. It only takes about a minute. And a reminder that we're brought to you in conjunction with WorldFamousComics.com, your spot on the internet for the best comic book and entertainment-related columns, contests, features, reviews, news, resources, and more. And as always, we are uniting the world's mightiest heroes, one listener at a time.